Time is running out. You have a very limited time to get in certain altcoins, and we've identified the sectors, and we have a serious countdown beginning. Are we about to run out of Bitcoin for sale? It's time to discover crypto.
Capital flight is coming to the United States. The dollar is going to zero.
And that's what makes Bitcoin so special.
You have to have gone through a couple cycles to understand.
Once the price is able to clear this level, the breakout is on its way.
This is your indication to jump in now.
Thank you for joining, everybody. How are you feeling? Hit that like button, everybody. Make sure you shock the YouTube overlords so they say, oh my God, we have to share this video to everybody because there's so much alpha, so much information, and Jesus Christ, these people are giving you the blueprint to be rich. It's time to hang out with Josh and
Nick.
Josh, how are you doing?
$69,000 Bitcoin coming out this Monday. I don't know what bears were thinking last Friday, but over the weekend, we had that sell-off going into Friday. After markets closed, retail panicked. They sold off. They brought us down to 63K. We're back up to 69,000, potentially 70K on stream. So we got a lot of stories to break down, a lot of altcoins we're watching. There's even one of our favorite altcoins toppling one of Daisy's favorite altcoins. It's going to be a good show.
It's going to be a good show. We're going to look at the crypto markets to start with because Bitcoin's just been on a tear, everybody. And we're also going to look at some altcoins. I put out an engagement tweet. What altcoin do you want me to do a little bit of a deep dive on? It looks like Iagon has won. But before we get into it, everybody, I just want to share I am in a long. I just jumped in a long on Boom. This is on Blofin right here. And man, oh man, did I catch that bottom quite well. I just saw that it wicked down to these this previous point of control, previous area of support, and I saw Jason Casper over the weekend on some of the larger time frames said, hey, watch out, Boom is looking bullish in the charts. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, all meme coins could just drop suddenly, but he pointed out some bullish indicators, and then I saw this dip. I just jumped in. I think we have a Blofin link down below. So I just want to share this. I can go ahead and move this stop loss into profit. I want to get below these wicks right here. And then we just have another green trade just in the books, everybody. But
how much you up right now?
227 or 217 right now. It's kind of fluctuating right there. So yeah, we got a couple $100 in profit. Not a bad way to start the day, everybody. With your morning coffee, let's all take a little sip together. Nick, you got a coffee?
I finished mine already.
Oh, he drank it all like a DJ.
Same as well here. But, you know, looking at the charts, I could not be more excited. I mean, everything is green. I did, by the way, watch Roadhouse chat. So I did end up getting, you know, DZ's thoughts on that over last Friday we talked about that. Did see the McGregor butt. So that was interesting. Let me know if you guys, you know, enjoyed Roadhouse this weekend. But Bitcoin, $69,100, $200. It's bouncing back and forth right now. Ethereum here, 3,500. But what I wanted to point out here, what is XRP doing, DZ? I mean, it just hit 1%. It's finally moving a little bit quicker than Tether here. We have Nicole coming in with a 3-month membership. Shout out to you all are awesome. And wanted to say thank you for being awesome and sharing your knowledge. We love you, Nicole. Appreciate you thank you for being here as always. But how are these charts looking?
Yeah, XRP looking a little bit flat right there, 1.3%. If you go right above Solana is up 10%.
Wow.
But actually, one of the few coins, even with the 10% pump, still red for the week. Looks like it's starting to climb its way back to $200, which, you know, is going to happen pretty easily if you ask me here. Dogecoin also on a little bit of a rally. It is up 25% for the week. And then Cardano and Avalanche also red for the week, along with Polkadot. Maybe, you know, of those 4 coins, I like all 4 of them. Cardano, Solana, Avalanche, and Polkadot.
We have a project that's about to take the top 10 as well. Toncoin up 50% in the last 7 days. Inching its way towards Avalanche here. And, let me scroll down right there. Inching towards Avalanche and Cardano. Cardano's now at 23 billion, 22 billion, $19 billion Toncoin now. That is wild.
Yeah, that is wild. And I want to talk about Avalanche real quickly. I watched Alex Becker's video over the weekend, and he brought up a good point on ETH gas fees. When ETH demand is high and ETH is around $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, we could potentially see $500 swaps on Uniswap with potentially even $1,000 swaps if you're trying to do it during an NFT mint.
Oh, yeah.
If there are $1,000 swaps screenshotted, will that kill Ethereum or kill its momentum?
No, it will make Ethereum pump harder.
It will make it pump harder.
Yeah.
What is your base? Is it because the network will be used more and it becomes more deflationary, or
no? I mean, it's the perceived value. People are like, oh my God, it costs $1,000 to just move one coin. I can't imagine what Ethereum costs. It's going up. It's that kind of mindset.
Okay, all right. Well, it'll be interesting to watch that narrative. Chainlink is also up pretty well for the day. Really, everything just started pumping lately, with Bitcoin up 3% in the past hour. So very, very different environment than it was, say, 6 this morning. If we look at the biggest gainers, though, ICP is just crushing it right here. Dog with Hat, Ondo, and Near Protocol also crushing it. Toncoin also doing very, very well.
Wow.
Jupiter doing very well. Quant, Singularity still had a green day.
Ondo's hitting just new all-time highs still, up 100% since we've made that video.
Yeah, that's awesome right there. And now in the top 100 right there is 93. But there had to be some losers, right? It can't be just everything is green, everything is bullish. What do we have here? We don't really have too much at all. Ronin is down a little bit, but had a pretty good week and a pretty good month. Same thing with Stacks. Josh, you're the Bitcoin L2 guy. What's going on with Bitcoin L2s here?
We got to look at the weekly for that. Still up 35% here, getting a breather, approaching all-time highs. In fact, I think it is. No, it's not at all-time highs. It's about to head into more price discovery as well. So it didn't even necessarily have any pullback as Bitcoin fell back. eCash, though, I have no idea why it's moving. Aptos here, up 10% on the week. And I would pay attention to Aptos' DEXs in their ecosystem. There's been Thal and a lot of movers in their ecosystem as well. So we're just starting to see that rotation. But Bitcoin Layer 2s, look, I've been saying it. I think it's going to be huge coming into the middle of April. That's when a lot of that marketing is really going to kick into high gear. You just had BFI launch today. There is lots of money flooding into this market. And that was the first IDO to kind of kick off. And I expect marketing to push up massively from all these people moving into April.
Well, let's take a little victory lap because a lot of people jumped in on Arrow with us. I think, oftentimes we give coins, but I think a higher percentage than normal bought some Arrow. And Arrow is up. We are now past $1.
Wow.
So if you're patient, you jumped in, we saw that first little blip there. We saw the first little blip. We say, hey, guys, you might need to get in on this one. I can't recall the exact price point that we recommended this to the people. I think it was 20-something cents. So I'm pretty sure below 30 cents there. And now we are above $1. So even though more tokens have been released, really, really good job there, everybody. All right. So let's see. Yeah, Arrow, a lot of people talking about that. 22 cents is what Mr. Mark says when we first mentioned it. So if you jumped in at 22 cents, this is only the 1 month chart. You're up incredibly. So
Easy just casually dropping 5Xs. People are fading. That's crazy, dude. That was an insane run up, dude. Shout out to that portfolio.
Yeah,
it's been only gainers these last 3 months. I don't think there's a single project we talk about that is down at this point. But everybody's a genius in the bull run, right?
Yeah. That's kind of how it goes, except for the Bears. The Bears out there are saying
dude,
short.
How are you still bearish? Every single time we've kicked back to 62, they're like, this is it. This is the time, DZ. We're going to 55K. And then from there, it's a straight shot to $10,000. Hold on. Nope, just ignored.
The reason people are getting wrecked is the incredible demand on Bitcoin, because even with a large amount of outflows from Grayscale outflows meet incredible demand. 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week as it attempts to challenge overhead resistance, as market observers hope, and they're praying and they're wishing for a resumption of the ETF frenzy here. Their retracement from 74K at one point past 17%. And while still modest by bull market correction standards, it made many nervous. This week, different landscape, at least so far. We have a CME gap to the upside has become one to the downside. And investor anticipation of a fresh attack on the highs to come is climbing, not falling. Beyond Bitcoin, a classic set of macroeconomic triggers is waiting in the wings here. So we return to the crunch resistance zone. So it could be a hard journey to the upside. It's not going to be, blasting to 80K. We got some pretty important levels to pass through. Probably going to take a little bit of resistance here. And a gap to the downside is a target to watch. According to Mark Cullen, he is related to Edward Cullen, the 100-year-old vampire. We keep scrolling here. Let's see if the CME gap gets filled in the next 24 hours. He wrote on a chart, posting as what he describes the areas of interest. I want to see what that price level was. That looks almost like ETH. Oh my God, that's way, way down.
I love this chart. It's either going to go up, down, up, or up, down, up, and up, down, up. That is this chart right here. Great. That's my TA for the day, guys.
As long as it ends on up, I think we're all on the same side here. Also, we got a little bit of an RSI breakout here. Looks like RSI slowly resetting a little bit. So we'll see if this plays out. You can see nice little breaking through a small little trend line there, but I wouldn't be looking too much into trend lines breaking on RSI. Grayscale, though, we said we have a timeline we want to tell you about. At this rate, Grayscale is going to run out of selling pressure in 96 days, 2-3 months away here. Let's see. Analysis from Arkham Intelligence reveals downward trend in the holdings, declining at 1,600,000 Bitcoin, and now almost cut in half to 356,000 Bitcoin. And eventually, 3 months from now, running out of Bitcoin to sell. And then that's just much less selling pressure. What do you guys think the lack of selling pressure will do to Bitcoin's price?
I mean, I think it's going to push it up. I think there was one more chart I wanted to show from that previous article here with the Grayscale Bitcoin outflows. I mean, like you said, we have 96 days left, and it's already at a decline. We've been seeing a little bit of an uptick in that selling pressure, but as Eric Balchunas and what we mentioned on Friday was, guys, this was bullish, right? We made even multiple videos on TikTok and through YouTube. This was bullish. People were saying the outflows were a negative issue, but there was actually an overall net positive for the industry. And so once they run out, I mean, what are we talking about? We're talking about even more demand increasing. There's still less supply. There is going to be less selling pressure. Price is going to push higher and higher. And this all comes as we have the PCE loom this week as well. So this is another huge bullish event this week with just the U.S. spending package. This week we see the personal consumption expenditures index heading U.S. macro data prints. PCE, known for the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation measure, followed last week's decision not to cut interest rates. While markets were already prepared, subsequent language from Fed Chair Jerome Powell ignited bets of successive cuts coming before the end of the year. So the metrics around people guessing on when the rate cuts are actually going to happen are adjusting massively by like 10% ratios every single month. And it's starting to push more and more later this year. And this is all bullish. And we expect more bullishness coming out of this PCE report, at least in terms of price action for Bitcoin. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty strong week for our price action.
Yeah, pretty strong week. But compared to last week, it was not the best week here. Last week, $888 million for the Cointucky Derby here. $888 million to the downside. That's a very lucky number in China. And very bullish. I'm bullish on that note. But outflows. All right. So why is Grayscale selling so much? This is a very important note, folks. This is going to run out at some point. They were most likely Gemini and Genesis selling from a bankruptcy, expecting that to slow over the next week. They had $3.9 billion of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust to sell. So a large amount of outflows from a particular bankruptcy. Once that's done, there's just the selling pressure isn't going to be there compared to the buying pressure, everybody. Also, talking about selling pressure, this is kind of hard to notice what you're looking at here, but just notice we don't have too much selling pressure to the upside. That's amount of Bitcoin that will be sold if a trigger is hit, if a price is hit. And on some of these exchanges, nothing to the upside, meaning no Bitcoin to sell, meaning people just trying to buy Bitcoin, rocketing to the upside here. So very, very low amount of sales data for the upside. So just very, very bullish on the large macro narratives, I would say here. All right, if we go to the next article here, Bitcoin briefly recovers above 67K amid the ETF inflows, start of global easing here, kind of just going over what we've just been saying in our last few minutes. Bitcoin whales move a record $2.3 billion from exchanges. Coinbase leads in Bitcoin outflows, meaning Bitcoin is running out of the exchange's balances. That kind of reminds me of Mr. 100. We were talking about Mr. 100 a long time ago. Probably, we threw out some speculation about a month ago. Looks like it could be a South Korean exchange, could be a South Korean billionaire. Well, it looks like maybe they figured out who Mr. 100 is. I thought I had that tweet up. I don't have that tweet up. So it was Huddle 15, the one breaking this.
I think it's a news story, Johnny pulled.
News story that John. We actually have articles on it. All right, so we'll dive into that in a little bit. All right, or go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to pull up this funny this is from 2 years ago. It's starting to resurface. It's a little video. I doubt chat has seen this, and maybe you have, but a lot of people are new this cycle. And I just want to point out, so like we're starting to get these crazy price actions. Whales are coming in, and this is a little lighthearted joke here, but China State TV on Bitcoin, and I do not believe this is AI. I remember this from 2 years ago. It's starting to resurface. But listen, what this is only an 18-second clip, and it's going viral on Twitter. Wanted to share it with you guys really quick.
Bitcoin of the currency been adopted by human society. I can tell exactly what's going to happen as the worst scenario or the must scenario. We're all going to die. This is not a joke.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. At 40K Bitcoin exactly 3 years ago, if it becomes a currency, we're all going to die. And that's not a joke. That was said on Chinese state media here. So I think that was a perfect lead into, I wanted to, are we going to die on these charts here? I know we have Kelly in the basement down below going to be going over of
The
course,
Bitlab.
some of the Bitlab. Well, I meant just directly below us in the actual area. But are we gonna die, Kelly? Are we looking good at these charts? What are our price points that we need to watch? Because we got a lot of news we're breaking down today. I just want to make sure we're
And
okay.
Kelly, I had a friend, he shorted Bitcoin one time. You know where he's at now? He's dead. But Kelly, what do you got for us?
I got some great stuff that we got to break down today. Shout out to the charts. Shout out to everybody that's been holding through that bear market that we had. We're still rising. Let's talk about it.
Hold on. I'm going to close half my short or long. I'm going to close half my long live right here. We are breaking into, looks like we might bounce off this on Boom. And just want to show you just how easy you can just close 50%. Boom. We've already locked in half the profit right there. So just wanted to share that real quick, Kelly, since I was doing it live.
That's what we do when we're trading. We take profits and rotate it into something that's going to have a longer term, like Bitcoin. And
no,
Ethereum.
I'm putting that into the next meme coin. So what are you talking about?
Hey, you could do that too. Right now it's still time for that. I'm going to talk about that here in a moment. But you know what? Look at this tiny little gap. You know how they say mind the gap in New York between the subway and the platform? This is that little gap. We are 98% of the way there.
I think it's an average gap.
Further supply shock happens. That is so good. Now, everybody thinks maybe we're a little overheated, and this chart suggests that. This is an aggregation of a bunch of on-chain data, but I'm here to be a bull, so let's talk about it. Reserve risk. How asymmetric is the risk opportunity if you invest right now? Look how low this still is. This is a balance essentially between basically the price and the hodl bank. The strength of hodlers is telling us right now that we still have so much room to go before we get overheated. Now, you can also see right here, this is a realized profit to loss ratio. You can barely see it here, but this dips right down into the red before it launches back up. This is that spring. If we actually take it over here to the 7-day moving average, it doesn't go down as far because it's a 7-day moving average, but we see there was some people that took some losses. Unfortunately, this is how markets work, but this provides the liquidity for market to move up. Now, we do see on the exchange net position change, things are still very bullish in the fact that the majority of people are not moving coins onto exchange. In fact, we've seen an increase in coins coming off of exchange, even here in this dip. It'll be interesting to see in the next 48 hours if this diminishes at all, because this is about a 24-hour delay chart, but things are incredibly bullish right now. So when we're looking at the charts, what do we see? We see bullish patterns all around breaking out. I did a short this morning on the Bitlab shorts release, but I mean, look at how similar, like for instance, Polygon and Avalanche, it's nearly the same exact chart here, breaking out of the zone. Bitcoin breaking out and having a little bit of a retest before moving up. Ethereum breaking out, starting to move up. And this was being held hostage a little bit, but we're starting to see some really, really bullish things in the chart. Now, I have a couple lines on this because we got to make it look a little bit like a serial killer, but this is what's going on. We have this top here, all this resistance here, and then this resistance here. This gave us a little bit of a mini inverted head and shoulders within the larger inverted head and shoulders right here, of which we just broke out from. Now we are coming up on the target that I had listed in the Discord and many other places on my Twitter, and just letting people know this is that area. Yes, we're pushing up, but we still have a potential for a rejection, but things are bullish right now. We can also see money flow flip back positive on the 4-hour chart. We see the VWAPs coming down and starting to round here, likely going to start moving up. An explosion in the volume. Things and people and institutions and retail, people in this market are agreeing with this move. You can tell because we have high volume, a massive volume breakout here as we are pushing up. Now, as bullish as this is, I do want to point out, even with like Avalanche, and we do have to be wary of a little bit of a pullback. What pullback am I talking about? We have a CME gap that's directly below us that formed this weekend that goes down to 64,125. So we need to be patient with a potential pullback, because it may just be market doing market things, AKA that whipsaw effect that is there. And what did I call it on my tweet? I called it watch for a trigger your emotions and take your money if you're scared whipsaw to come in to potentially close that gap. So if we do get a move down, I would be watching for a strong buying pressure coming in at the bottom side of this range, and it would be a good trade opportunity as well. Now, we got to talk about the altcoins just in general. The total 3. This is a previous cycle. This is a cycle and a half back. This is the last bear market we had. We have broken out of this, but what does this look like on the charts? Well, let's go ahead and look at it because we got some very,
Hold on, well,
very
just to
similar.
pause for a second. Probably most of our viewers don't know what total 3 is. Could you unpack that for a second?
Yeah, the total 3 is the entire, basically everything in crypto minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, minus the 2 largest players, the 2 largest market caps. It's basically, if we come over here and we go to, let's see, subtract these and it's everything else, BNB, Solana, XRP, all the way down to all the meme coins and everything like that. It's everything in the market minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's the risk plays minus the safe plays, essentially. And what I want you to just notice here, okay, we have this chart right here with these giant, basically triangles, but looking at this, let's look at the structure. Very similar, basically double bottom here. Very similar. We have this similar structure here, broke out, came down, found support. Look at this, broke out, came down, found support. And then we had from this breakout, we had another move up 900%, basically a 9x from there. Are we going to get a 9x this time? Probably not. It could happen. But point here is let's look at the shape and the direction of what we see right here. This is suggesting that what's next to come, and let's do a little drum roll. A drum roll right here suggests the next thing to come is massive gains if you are stacking. And I want to talk about that for just a moment before we go. This is the altcoin portfolio that I started. Yes, I started this. This isn't old. I started this February 7th. And I've been sharing all of the coins, all the moves, everything that I'm doing. In fact, I made some big moves this weekend. But look at this. We're up 300% on Aerodrome. Gave it to y'all in the Discord before we even shared it here on the stream. 143% on Near. Up 69% on Avalanche. I think Avalanche is going to absolutely pop this cycle. Render. Okay, I'm going to have a contention here with Josh because I agree with him and disagree with him. He said that the graphics and the depend narrative may be a little bit over. I think for people that were in very early, yes, was a great spot to take profit, but we just saw that there's going to be about $40 billion in investment coming from Saudi Arabia into the AI space. So I'm still looking at this for a bit longer term. Render, Fetch AI, all these. Ondo also up 110%. And I'm sharing all this, everybody, in the Discord. And by the way, tomorrow we're going to be drawing a $100 USDT giveaway. All you got to do is head over to my Twitter here at Kelly Kellum or at Academy Bitlab. Retweet this Bitlab Academy tweet that enters you to win $100 USDT. And this is a promo. We're doing 30-day free trial for our Discord with all the things. Look at this. This is getting good, baby. For JJ call, Josh's calls, his watch list, my alpha, the member streams. So get over there on my page, retweet that, jump in. It's a 30-day free trial. We're sharing so much. We're keeping you on the right side of these profits, but that's what I got. I'm bullish. Let's watch for a potential pullback, and we use that as a buying opportunity. We're heading into the most bullish part of the cycle. Let's go.
Woo! Kelly,
I like it.
Always a pleasure. I did want to show one last thing on the signals chart here that we've been covering like a lot, relentlessly, which was this EI at the 70,800. I was talking about this last week when we were going over our liquidations and everything.
Now, hold on. I'm going to do the same thing I did, Kelly. Most of our viewers, you said EI. Now, are you talking about the Nelly song? EI, uh-oh.
No, that's Old McDonald.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
wow.
close.
EIO. You don't get my 2004 rap references.
Oh, I just hit him with one. But okay, guys.
No, it's because mine went over your head.
The yellow, yellow is a magnet is what I was going to say here. So this EI acts as an O, and that is going to be your massive, massive magnet. And as you guys remember from last week, we were coming down to the 61,400. I mentioned that we could probably retest this, touch this little support, but it's going to be a pretty quick close. If we close above it, it would be bullish. We turn that into support and we filled that gap. You can kind of think of it like those CME gaps. And it was a magnet that ended up being a massive support zone. Now we're bouncing higher. So I think that next level of resistance is going to be that 70,800. That's what we're going to want to turn into support. But yeah, I'm more bullish than ever right now on these markets. It's looking good, guys. Let us know in the comments what altcoins you want us to review this week. Me and DZ are kind of baffled between what we should cover. There is so many good altcoins out there. We want to know what you guys want in the community. Just spam them in the comments. Let us know in the chat, guys, what cryptos you guys want us to cover. And we'll be going over deep dives on those here on Discover's channel. But that does move us to, of course, the largest whales in the industry waking up, I believe, for the first time. What are these whales doing? Are whales bearish? Are they bullish? Are they being doxxed? What are we looking at?
Oh, they're doing all the things. They are bullish, and they're so bullish they're putting the lotion on the skin. You know about putting the lotion on the skin?
I don't want to go there.
Okay, I didn't think so. The Buffalo Bill dance. Do you know about the Buffalo Bill dance?
You're purposely targeting me.
No. It's all up in the chat. Nick, you saw it, right?
Chat, are we Buffalo Bill
I watch
dance?
it every weekend.
Kelly was doing the Buffalo Bill dance, everybody. You should check it out. It's not a risky Google search at all. All right, Bitcoin whales are moving a record $2.3 billion from exchanges. So the whales are pulling the Bitcoin off exchanges. Now, what is going on here? Probably some of it's going to be some ETF stuff, but a little bit is going to be Mr. 100 as well. Coinbase accounted for over $1 billion in total amount transferred. It looks like it's a reallocation of asset by the Bitcoin whales, potentially signaling a bullish outlook for the markets here. Over 25,000 Bitcoin totaling 1.6 billion. Josh is shaking his head. I guess he looked it up.
Should not have looked that up. I could have gone my whole life without have seeing that. But
fun fact about Silence of the Lambs: my mother took me to see that movie when I was 6 or 7 years old.
Oh no!
Oh, is that what that's
She was
from?
an odd one. She was an odd one.
That's what that's from?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Silence of the Lambs. Anyways,
I saw that like once in like, I don't even know, it might have been like middle school, and I thought it was like a historical like piece, you know?
I mean, Jodie Foster gave a historical performance of a Southern accent, but it was good. It was good.
Tuck and strut, bro. Now I know what you guys are talking about, and I'm
all right.
I will forever now know that.
We did it.
Well, speaking of tuck, you could tuck this away in your noggin.
Wow.
Bitcoin whale has been doxxed, everybody. Is someone we've been talking about for a long time. We threw out a speculation tweet. I think it was over a month ago, really. It was the smartest, dubious speculation we saw was, looks like a South Korean billionaire or South Korean exchange. And, they had some data with, hours of operation, some other stuff here. But Mr. 100, a Bitcoin whale, how much Bitcoin does he have? 50,000, has aggressively accumulated Bitcoin since the FTX collapse. They've debunked theories of it being a single entity or a sovereign wealth fund. And it looks like it might be just an exchange, y'all. The whale outdid itself on the 15th. We covered this when it happened 10 days ago, where they got 1,000 Bitcoin. It got 52% of the total buys by the top 10 exchanges, ETFs here. Intriguing, the wallet behavior indicates a broader strategy with significant transfers from a secondary wallet that's followed the same pattern since 2019. This is a seasoned player engaged in the crypto market well before the current bull run. Speculation was abounding, ranging from Hong Kong financial institutions laying the groundwork for their ETFs to sovereign wealth funds from the Middle East, even a tech titans covert venture. Despite all the guesses, now Arkham has a compelling theory here. They did forensics on it, and they identified it as an Upbit cold wallet. This classification stems from the transactions and its association with other Upbit addresses, which is typical moves of an exchange cold wallet operational pattern here. So it looks like it is in fact an Upbit cold wallet. But does this change your bullish thesis, knowing that Mr. 100, it wasn't... I never really bought the Sovereign Nation fund. To me, just it looked like a little too on the nose. I thought it could have been a South Korean billionaire. I'm trying to think of a big South Korean Kia, like a Kia executive. I got some good moves here. Does it make you more bearish learning? It's just an exchange.
I mean, I think it's just going to come down to the same reaction of El Salvador adopting Bitcoin in 2021. We're all like, oh, what country is it going to be? And then end up just being El Salvador. In this case, it was like, it makes sense on, what the price action was for Upbit. It makes sense that it was, this exchange. So no, it doesn't change the bullish narrative because the sentiment is everybody's trekking towards more demand, less supply. We're going to have more countries adopt this anyways. I expect it to be on most corporation balance sheets by 2026. I think it's going to ramp up pretty quickly, especially after this next presidential election. So I'm bullish no matter what.
We had a couple super chats. One was, what was the one above that?
Yeah, so we had
how about a Casper? Nick, you like Casper, right? What's your just one sentence thesis on Casper?
No, I like Casper. I don't like Casper.
Oh, you don't like Casper.
You're scared of ghosts.
Look at the chart and the market cap. It is weird.
All right, so Casper has maybe not the best token issuance. All right, so this is a thing we talk about. Okay, so that's the price, and you're like, oh man, it's going to go to that new all-time high. It reminds me of like ICP chart. Then you hit market cap, and
That's a lot
we're
of token
flirting
dilution.
with new all-time highs, but it looks like it was higher in May. I mean, this is an interesting chart. I wouldn't say it's the worst though I've seen.
Well, Roosevelt, thank you for the Aerodrome on fire. Yeah, I haven't looked into Casper in a long time. It was under like kind of like that ISO narrative. It was grouped into there. So I think there was connections and correlation to XRP with like some smart contract integration or something. Don't quote me on that because that was like 2-3 years ago. Actually, wow, 3 years ago at this point. But the next one is going to be Boba Network for a low market cap multi-chain layer 2. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Johnny, welcome to the Alliance here, brother. Welcome to the stream. I'll pull up, of course, Boba, unless you have direct thoughts on it.
I have direct thoughts on Johnny spelling his name with no H. Jonny.
Efficient.
Yeah, no, that it can't be trusted.
That's efficient. I don't know what you're
Cannot be
talking
trusted.
I
about.
wouldn't trust my wallet, on the table with him in the room.
That'd be like, I guess no one goes Joshua without a, like, it'd be like OOA.
Johnny, I'm calling out your parents specifically for naming you that. No, as he looks.
Interesting market caps on Boba as well. We're looking at, generally when you click on market cap and you see these massive price swings, it's because of tokenomics shift or there's
a big token release
massive
right there.
unlock and of course token release. So I'd have to look into this. I'll pull it up for you guys and I'll do a little bit of research as DZ, of course, dives into today's articles here, guys. Make sure you guys smash that like button. We're at 1,000 beautiful viewers. Let's make sure we get to that 300 like range, because we're going to be sharing our favorite altcoins. And this is a ton of alpha that you won't get anywhere
I'm doing
else.
a deep dive on a coin that you guys chose on X directly.
Ooh.
So, all right. Here we have Iceland's prime minister giving the cold shoulder to crypto as miners search worldwide for cheap electricity. This is a new interview in the Financial Times, which we are not fans of here. Iceland's PM outlined a desire to curb mining in the country, which uses more electricity than the country's households do. Meanwhile, Bloomberg reports that older miners from the U.S. are being snapped up by overseas buyers with access to low-cost electricity. How do the electrical companies feel about that? But yeah, I know they use a lot of thermal in Iceland. Iceland is known for having cheap energy. So they have a vast network of hydroelectric and geothermal plants. They made them one of the cheapest, largest energy producer per capita. Robust crypto mining industry has also made its foremost hash rate producer by the same metric. But when the prime minister looks to the future, she prefers to picture corn over crypto mining, according to Jagastr. The price of Iceland's 100% renewable electricity is insulated from fluctuations in global fuel prices, making the country an attractive destination for miners. However, with electricity growing scarcer under high demand and with few new power plants under construction, crypto mining industry is not expected to grow in the country. She also coincidentally took the same flight as a man suspected of stealing $2 million in crypto miners from around the country. There's Nick taking a little victory lap, I suppose, there. Bitcoin's upcoming block reward, having now less than a month away, is spurring more demand for last generation crypto miners owned by U.S. companies. Some of them, such as the 600K Bitmain Antminer S19 series, which costs up to $11K a piece at their peak, on the way out of the U.S. After the halving, each machine is estimated to only fetch $350. Nick, you're the mining expert here. What are your thoughts on these miners starting at above 10K, and right now you can only get them for $350? I'm a novice. I'm just some dummy, right? And so I figure, well, geez, if I could buy one for $350, that seems like a good buy, right? Can I mine, with a pool and earn more than that plus my electricity?
I can tell you here in a second.
Nick's going to do some of the deep dive with the nerd stuff. So he's going to go to one of these sites. I forget the sites, Ivan, some people, you pull up electricity costs, you pull up, what this mining machine does with a particular cryptocurrency, this case, Bitcoin.
S19,
yeah.
S19 XP. There's a bunch of different S19s. Let's just go with the cheapest one.
A lot of S19s. Ooh.
All right. So right now it is $7.80 profitable a day at 10 kilowatt, 10 cents per kilowatt hour.
So if you got cheap electricity, you're making $200 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much are these going for? That's the real question.
Well, they're saying each machine only estimated to fetch around 350. I'm guessing that's for big corporations buying 1,000 at once, 5,000 at once, 100 at once. I don't think
you can get one
get
for
that
$1,000. It's probably worth it.
Okay, so if you get one for $1,000, probably be worth it. All right, well, the whole corn thing. She wants her country to grow more food and mine less cryptocurrency.
Iceland can't grow anything.
Well, what about hydroponic farms, like underneath with, fake light?
Vertical
Looks like
farming doesn't work.
they have varieties though: potatoes, turnips, carrots, cabbage, kale, and cauliflower.
Well, we should end the war in the world's breadbasket. Then is what we should do. Quant, stable coin or investment? I have a little quant. I think I've been slowly selling my quant and putting into just hotter narratives, because a lot of times, you don't have the funds on the sidelines to deploy just every coin that you want to buy.
Yeah.
You say, let me sell something that's old and dead. And Quant's been on that list for me. I've been putting in some of these newer, hotter coins there.
Yeah,
A cursory look at eBay for the S19.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them for about, I'm seeing them go for $800. So that's actually a pretty good buy. Now, just so we're all aware, you can't plug it into just a regular wall outlet. I believe you have to have 220 volt. So
it's like a dryer, a washing machine.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you don't just plug it into your wall and think it's going to start mining Bitcoin. But yeah, I mean, for $1,000, if you can get one of these things, that's pretty darn good.
All right. Well, speaking of mining, a lot of people say, I don't like mining, it's too centralized. Well, 5 institutional investors own 22% of Marathon, the largest Bitcoin mining company by market cap here. Now, we've talked about this a lot, how BlackRock owns almost all verticals of Bitcoin here. So Vanguard holds the most, followed by BlackRock, and then followed by Jane Street, which is people smarter than me say is associated closely with intelligence agencies. And also, coincidentally, where SBF met Caroline Ellison. They met at Jane Street. Then also, who's the next one there?
No corruption there at all. Yeah, I pulled
Morgan
them up
Stanley.
at Yahoo Finance here, guys. You want to always... This is why I think we're so early to this bull run. Like, yes, I'm preparing to take some massive profit towards the Bitcoin halving, because I think it's going to be your big run up, and then just historical reference. I'm making a swing trade, guys. I'm doing it. I'm a trader. I've been here for multiple cycles. But when you look at Marathon, Riot, your largest Bitcoin miners in the world, the people that are behind now the Bitcoin Mining Council that are pursuing greener negative energies and obviously mining more and more Bitcoin, their largest shareholders are Vanguard, BlackRock, and Jane Street, as well as Morgan Stanley and State Street. You go to Riot, right? Let's go to Riot platforms. Again,
a little bit.
Vanguard. Oh, yeah, let me zoom out just a little bit here for you.
There you go.
There you
Perfect.
go. So Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. Again, Marathon, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. And this is a normal pattern in all of these different ecosystems. So when you see like the DOJ coming after Apple, check this out, right? Is Apple really the one that has the monopoly, or who are their largest shareholders? Well, again, if you just go down the holders and we look at even Apple stock, it is going to be Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. So there is this trend here of this monopoly that's being generated. BlackRock is developing these financial products, these tools with the Bitcoin spot ETFs. They're investing into all the backbone infrastructure. And that's why I've been talking about Marathon and their Slipstream service, right? They are literally in all of the infrastructure that is going to cause Bitcoin to go higher and higher in price. Marathon Digital announced their Slipstream service, which is all focused on adding more RAM to mempools for ordinals and, of course, the NFT market that is growing and emerging on Bitcoin. With the launch of Rune's protocol. Rune's protocol is, of course, on the Bitcoin halving height at the 840,000th block. That is when you're going to have Runes launch, which you can think of as the Solana of Bitcoin. This is only meant for essentially meme coins and NFTs. That is the token generation around that. Marathon, which is again owned by BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. These institutions, they control, again, the supply, the mempools. They control Coinbase. They own Coinbase. They own USDC. They manage the stablecoin reserves. They are in every single part of this, and that is why I expect this price to continue higher and higher.
Well, speaking of price continue to go higher and higher, well, Bohm kept going higher and higher. I had a moonshot take profit. I was actually talking to Nick before the stream, actually with Josh. I moved this take profit higher because I knew we were about to go live. I was like, I want to still be in this open trade for chat here, and I moved it up. Literally 10 seconds later, it wicked up. I was like, oh man, good thing I did that. I had a moonshot wick up here. Right along there, it touched it perfectly, like an angel's whisper, and then it just perfectly hit that. And you can see now I've closed my position. If we hit order history, it wicked up, and I made additional 174 in addition to the 114 we made this morning. So we pulled in about $300 trading profit. So
nice.
Chat. I took a little bit of a break there, but I'm slowly leveraging higher and higher amounts. You remember we used to make sandwiches. Then we went to steak sandwiches. Then we went to steak dinners. Now I'm buying like group steak dinners. eventually I'll have Salt Bay Gold Flake foil steak dinners.
Nice.
We're getting there, Nick. We're getting there. So I just want to, anybody who jumped in the trade or, is in a trade right now, I just want to let you know I did close that out. All right. So that was the marathon and all the mining stuff. Goldman Sachs hedge fund clients surge into crypto post Bitcoin ETF approval.
What?
We talked about how there's still mechanisms for retail to buy these ETFs are really not that many out. And so Goldman Sachs was offering some of these ETF exposure to their clients. And then what is happening? Surge of interest. People loving this stuff. They can't get enough of it, especially when they see a little bit of a sale. But speaking of sale, looks like banks about to be on a fire sale here. 282 U.S. banks suffer toxic combo that could trigger collapse, with $900 billion in total assets at stake here. I would say this, probably a large amount here. After a consulting firm, the banks in question simultaneously have large amounts of exposure to commercial real estate and significant unrealized losses on their balance sheet. Won't disclose the names of the banks that may need to raise capital or merge to survive, fearing the information could spark bank runs. So an analyst did a deep dive. They popped the hood up on the U.S. financial system, and what they saw would say, oh my God, this engine is about to blow up. And then so people are like, well, what engine part? Is it the radiator? Is it a belt? Is it the engine itself? I can't tell you because that would break the engine even faster. And so that is the situation that we're in right now. And so when we say you got to make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you go and hit that like button. We need to spread the gospel. Bitcoin is the escape hatch of a failing economy. When that happens, we disagree, but I think we all agree it will happen eventually. The co-founder says the size of the list shows regulators have a big challenge ahead. If there were just 10 banks, they'd be taken down and dealt with. But when you got hundreds of banks facing these challenges, the regulators have to walk a bit of a tightrope. Of the 282, 16 hold between 10 and 100 billion in assets, and the majority is less than 10 billion. So very, very few, less than 10% have a large amount of assets. Although the names are shrouded in secrecy, looks like NYCB is clearly a high-profile name on the list. Recently revealed losses in the fourth quarter that were $2.4 billion worse than previously reported. So this isn't what they expected. Oh, yeah, let's see, Q2 2024 in the future, we'll probably lose $1 billion. It happens. Oh, yeah, we lost 2.4. No, they had a quarterly report, and they said, oh, yeah, we only lost 1.2 billion. And then months later, when no one's paying attention, oh, yeah, it was actually 3.6. 2.4 billion less than originally reported. So when we say inflation data is wrong, jobs data is wrong, banks' profitability is wrong, all these things are being misreported. Is it related to the big event in November? I don't know.
I do want to jump back to a question we had in the comments. Someone said, Josh, you said that we were, last week we were 50% in the bull run. So I wanted to show you guys where I get that from on the chart here, because that would put us, you guys, that might sound like it's going to end next month. It's not at all. Because look at this. This is how long the average bull run is. If I was to look at last cycle, right, we're talking 2020, September 2020, you had COVID-19, we bounced back up, we came back, retested that low. I'm going to say from here up to the top of that cycle was roughly 440 bars or 440 days. So I'm doing the same exact analysis here. I would say we've been in a bull run since August of 2023. If you want to argue October, that is up to you. But if you're to look at that, that would put us at roughly 220 bars or roughly 40 to 50% into this thing. Now, again, that is still 6-7 months. Actually, it's more than that. It's like 7 to 8 months. So that is where I get that halfway marker. And for people that don't believe we're not already into the bull run at this point, we have sparked this. We've been in this rally. It's been months. Like, just look at the portfolio differences. We had Kelly on the stream in February 2nd or 7th launch a portfolio. He's up tens of thousands and thousands of dollars. That's where that comes from. So hopefully I can give you guys some perspective on where I believe we're looking to be at the end of this cycle.
Guys, we got a victory lap we got to take.
Yeah. What's
Big
up?
time.
What's going on?
Okay. Johnny called Maple Finance. Pull up the Maple chart.
Yeah. He's
months ago. I got in months ago. This was a deep pick from we talked about in like November of last year.
Maple.
Okay. MPL token.
The one that's NPL 23.
That's it. Yep. So do the 3 month and then the 1 year.
So if you got in at November, you're doing really good. You got in around $6, and say you caught the wick at the end of November. I mean, you're still like doing pretty. Even if you bought the very highest point, you felt like a big dum-dum. You're still now you're in profit finally. So congrats on that one. I have a pretty interesting fact. So now it's time to talk a little bit about gold, everybody. So gold, a lot of countries hold a lot of gold. They're starting to sell U.S. treasuries, and they're starting to buy some gold. Many speculate they're secretly also buying Bitcoin at the same time that they're buying gold. China has a lot of gold, 2.2 thousand pounds, or tons there. 2,200 tons. But some say, wait a minute, that's incorrect. They could have over 5. They could be off by a whole factor there. A recent report from an expert in the Chinese gold market found that the actual reserves might be over 5,300 tons, dwarfing official numbers, saying could be stashing it. And the covert number is calculated by subtracting the official reported purchases from the numbers reported from the World Gold Council. Almost like it's a blockchain. So they're able to verify, hey, wait a minute, there's secret thousands of pounds disappearing somewhere. Explained that demand combined with the private demand of Chinese investors who have abandoned traditional investment sectors such as Chinese real estate and the stock market has become a driving force for gold prices. Also could be preparing for upcoming debasement of the U.S. dollar. It's a good economic wartime strategy to dump your treasuries and dump your reserves of U.S. dollars and then buy a shiny gold metal or aka Bitcoin. Do you think? All right, now let's just throw out this chat. They're buying more gold than they're officially reporting. Does that mean they're buying Bitcoin while at the same time not reporting?
I like that narrative because I don't trust the gold market at all. I mean, growing up as a kid, I used to think, wow, these heists, like there's gold vaults out there that look like this, right? Look, pull this up on the screen. This was what I imagined Fort Knox to look like. And now after understanding fractional banking and understanding how much gold is actually out there, like geographically, where is that gold actually distributed? How much of it is paper traded at this point? Like we have no understanding and there's no transparency. The Pentagon can't even pass a freaking audit. So I'm not going to trust this World Gold Organization on actually who holds this. And that's why we Bitcoin again. That's why Bitcoin I believe is going to be a much more dominant digital, it's not only a commodity, but digital commodity as it's easier to adopt worldwide. It's transparent. Everything's on chain. You can see that action. And that's why I just think we're progressing towards this. And then this doesn't even bring it like, is China telling the truth here? Can we even trust China? It's like obviously not, in the sense that we can't even audit their own firms. We can't audit their real estate market, which has been collapsing because of their LFGVs, which are called local government financial vehicles. I don't need to go into the technicals, but it's all the stuff that's been propped up due to fractional banking and everything we've developed over the last 3 decades, and it's all kind of came up to be a lie. And that's why Bitcoin's so important.
Well, you have them officially saying 2,000. You have an analyst saying 5,000. It could be somewhere in the middle. 4,269 or something.
True.
Who knows?
True.
All right. Now this is a pretty crazy story. Almost seems like a movie. Almost seems like a Leo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks movie. Binance executive escapes detention in Nigeria. Is there more trouble for Binance? There's a little bit of intrigue. They let him out. It's pretty crazy here. So he's the Binance regional manager for Africa, Nadeem Anjarwalla, and he escaped detention in Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria, where him and the head of financial crime compliance were being held hostage. He escaped detention when he was taken to the mosque to observe prayers because of the Ramadan fast right there. Details on how he escaped remains unknown. However, he was said to have left the country on a Middle Eastern airliner. Dollars of donuts, he's flying to UAE. So with British and Kenyan citizenship, his destination remains unknown, and the fallout from this escape remains unclear at the time of writing. They flew into the capital in February to resolve claims by the country's agency concerning manipulations, other charges, and since they entered on the 26th, they've been held in custody with no confirmation that they will be released anytime soon. No personal charges. Yeah, they had no charges put on them either. What does this mean? Escaping detention is a daring move that is uncommon in the crypto ecosystem. Yeah, they always just turn themselves in. This escape might further complicate the tense situation between Binance and Nigerian authorities. I think he bribed a guard. Hey, I'll give you a Bitcoin if you just let me escape the detention van on the way to the mosque. I mean, that seems the most likely scenario. Now, how much did he bribe the guards? 1 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin?
It wouldn't take much.
Not much. Like, I mean, look what just... I mean, I can't talk about that actually on stream because I was going to say a certain event that just happened in a certain country that was devastating. Those people were paid like $5,000 to commit the horrendous crimes that they just committed.
If you buy that,
I think, well, I mean,
if you buy that they're paid via Telegram, I don't think they're paid via Telegram. I think it was a person-to-person interaction that they're not talking about.
I think people would do a lot more for a lot less. And so I'm just saying, like what you're saying, I agree with. I don't even think it would be a Bitcoin though. I think it could have been like $5,000, $10,000, like, you know, depending on where these countries are.
All right. Well, we also have SEC
guarantees
versus Ethereum, what to expect and why it is crucial for the crypto market here. What is happening in SEC's position, why it matters. So Ethereum classified, if it's classified as security, it could have stringent trading regulations, meaning it'd be difficult to issue an ETF. CFTC would no longer be in control. Gary Gensler would be in control. Their transition to proof of stake model in 22 prompted more scrutiny, despite previous statements suggesting commodity-like status. So they said, hey, you know, it is similar to gold or Bitcoin, but then they changed the rules. Under Gensler's leadership, they've signaled a broader approach towards cryptocurrencies, particularly those utilizing proof of stake models. But despite the CFTC's view of Ether as a commodity, the SEC's investigation into the security status had led to speculation and uncertainty within the crypto industry. I think it's Gensler grasping at straws. He's the nerdy kid no one wanted to play with. No one wanted. He was always picked last for dodgeball, and then this is the manifestation of that years later.
Yeah, I mean it's quite clear. He's back tested everything he said. Like he's just a hypocritical leader at this point. He's just another Elizabeth Warren. But we also have, dude. It looks like a lot of people got into Aerodrome. Tell you what, guys, at 350 likes, I'm gonna give you another Aerodrome. There's actually another project that is very similar. Okay, and actually, I'm going to show you the correlations and everything, but I'll give it to you at 350 likes. We have 1,100 people watching right now. It will take 2 seconds to hit that if you guys just tap that like button. We have SEC is monitoring this chat. Probably, but they can't. No, I doubt they're monitoring this chat. I mean, they already have their heads. I mean, they're up to their heads in workflow. There's no way they have the time to pay attention to our chat. Like button 276. Crypto, gold, silver, stocks, bonds, real estate, trust, life insurance, and a trust. Wow, this man is diversified.
Yeah, the last one is the best if S hits the fan. But you know, good luck with that. Best precious metal to invest in is lead, snow cone. On the same page, they say brass and lead are the two important currencies
with
of
a
the future.
hollow tip.
Someone in chat may have called already the project.
You know, we're talking about when you go to Chipotle and they don't do much and you got to give a tip.
Yeah.
That feels like a hollow tip.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really do much for this hollow tip.
No.
You know what I mean? They didn't earn it.
Now, was it just a tip?
I was just, you know, hey, that's what we're talking about, YouTube overlords. And make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Let's shock them into compliance, shock them into sharing this video far and wide. We have to replace the AI Michael Saylor scams. And the best way you can do that is just making sure you subscribe to the channel, have notifications on, and hit that like button. We probably have a lot of new viewers. We bring you live content Monday through Friday and videos 7 days a week, folks. So we appreciate if you follow. Unlocking crypto history. 2,000 Ether from Ethereum's Genesis days suddenly moved. This is ICO era coins. Nick, do you remember what they cost back then?
No.
It's in the article.
I know.
So you could have got in ETH on a pre-sale, similar to a meme coin, right? Like, I put up some SOL for this meme coin. Back then, people were paying with Bitcoin. What were they a piece? So what was 1 Ether a piece? Let's just look at the price right now.
I'm
about to reveal it. I'm about to reveal it. Say what?
Yeah, fun fact. I'm not going to reveal it. So a lot of Bitcoin maxis made their multi-millions on Ethereum.
Yeah.
Because people don't know this, Vitalik started Bitcoin Magazine.
He didn't start it. He ended up running it. He was contributing author or journalist for it, and then ended up running it.
I thought he did the first article.
Yeah, he didn't found it, though. I think someone reached out to him, and then he ended up taking over.
I'm curious to know, is that owned by the same companies that funded Ethereum Foundation?
No. As my understanding,
is this 2012, 2010?
This is 2014, I think. And Joe.
So if it's 2014, so Wan Chang, I'm gonna guess there's some ties or no?
It's Joe Lubin. Joe Lubin was the money guy.
That's right, Joseph Lubin.
Consensus.
All right. So Ether right now, one of them costs $3,000 and $3,500. $3,500. Well, back then during this ICO, folks, You got in at 31 cents a piece. That's right. 3 of them for $1. Right now, they're trading for $3,500 a piece. At the launch, 7 million Ether were snapped up at this rate, at a rate for 2,000 ETH for a single Bitcoin in 12 hours. Bitcoin is valued at $621 on that day, and the 12 hours saw people depositing, acquiring ETH at roughly 31 cents a piece. Now, that's just the daily close, so really it fluctuates around from that. ICO wallets were labeled Genesis on the Ether Explorer, etherscan.io. So 7 million were traded on the opening half day of the ICO. Whale Alert caught a Genesis token spin this weekend. They initiated a transfer of 2,000 ETH this Saturday. It was established July 30th, 2015, a little over a year subsequent to the ICO's inception. So since then, went from 31 cents to $3 July 2015. At that point, selling, man, you could have got $5,000, significantly more than the 621, but they held on, and now that diamond hand activity made it worth $6.8 million. Why couldn't you just wait till it was a 9, everybody?
So what's the next Ethereum then? What's the next one?
The most common answer you're going to get is Solana. And then a big part of that reason is going to be gas fees.
Solana already at $30 billion market cap. So like I'm talking
so what's the next 31 cent? Yeah. What's the next 31 cent coin you can buy?
At $1.
Are you saying what's the next 5,000x?
Yes.
That really what
Give it to me right now.
That's literally what we're saying.
10,000x actually. Yeah, you get 3 for $1 and it's around 3,300.
I don't know. Call Martini guy. He knows.
I think it might be Optimism's ecosystem. And again, we're almost at 350 likes, guys.
If I knew the next 10,000x, I am looking like a crazy homeless man because I'm selling everything. I'm selling everything. I'm selling the clothes off my back. I'm going to walk around draped in newspaper, okay? Because I'm putting every single penny in that 10,000x.
Oh, yeah.
What I do think is we have a lot of strong 10 to 100Xs, and we try to identify those. We try to share those. One of them, Arrow, going crazy. Hit that like button if you bought some Arrow. We're up 5X in 3.5 weeks.
We're about to hit the likes.
Journey. It's
Can you explain just a little bit, just a little base model that retail will understand? What is Aerodrome? What does it do? Because I'm going to be showing one that I believe is the next Aerodrome.
Ooh.
And I think you'll agree, but I do want a briefing on Aerodrome.
We're running out of time. After that, I'll probably share my altcoin pick, deep dive. Arrow is essentially, it is the trading platform for Base. Everyone's talking about Base right now. Oh, all the Base meme coins, a lot of attention on Base. Aerodrome is the Uniswap of Base. And so I think that's just your bullish narrative right there. It's going to be the number one backed by Coinbase Ventures. And so I think Coinbase Ventures, let's say 5 decentralized exchanges pop up. I think Coinbase Ventures wants Arrow to succeed, probably because they vetted them, probably talked to the team, and probably like what they're doing over there. So Arrow is the Uniswap of Base.
So the other product, so a product that's going to be similar to this, but much smaller, a lot earlier on. Of course, Optimism is a product I think is going to be a huge competitor to like Ethereum's in the future. Will it be getting that same market cap? I doubt that. But of course, in sense of like Arbitrum, Aptos, these new communities, Optimism is the most developed chain at this given moment. I think they make up for 60 to 70%. The metrics we were covering when we were looking at smart contract development was wild a few weeks back. So the project that is essentially the Uniswap of Optimism, you can see it right here. The contract address is OP, is going to be Velodrome. So similar to Aerodrome, but it is Velodrome. We actually called this at 9 cents with the Discord. It is up already a little bit, but it is a much smaller market cap, sitting at under 100 million at about a $68 million market cap right now. I think there's a lot more upside, but what I want to show you guys is that it's in price discovery. When you click on market cap, the token is about to go into price discovery here, and I do expect some upside to that. And it is, again, similar functionality, DEX, AMM of Optimism here. And I do see that kind of growing that same pattern. Base, though, definitely bullish right now, and great call on the Aerodrome.
Hey, you know what? Great call on closing that long, everybody. Looks like I hit that profit perfectly, and I don't know if it's going to keep going down. I'm just not upset about taking profit right there at the top. I did this tweet right here. What's the altcoin people are not bullish enough about? I'll do a deep dive. Looks like IAG ended up probably getting the most mentions right there. A lot of strong projects. Wi-Fi's on there. Kopi's on there. Thorchain, another Kopi. Cody, Book, of course, going to cook. But IAG was the one I saw a lot of right before I went live as I'm scrolling. Okay, there's some more. I was like, DZ's just saying that because he's bold. No, I saw a lot more on that. So IAG just had big news, everybody. So congrats jumping in on that one. We shared this on a Cardano altcoin deep dive. Looks like it jumped on sale relatively. We got in before Cardano ran up to 80 cents. This is the Cardano running up to 80 cents run right there. I don't know what we're up. Probably around 10, 12 cents. Got a nice little double up right now. But big news. And if we click on Twitter right here, you'll see they had to front run the news. I guess the community started running with it. The perfect crypto partner for Messi is also the perfect partner for Iagon. BitGet, the world's 7th ranked cryptocurrency exchange, is now listed a Cardano token. So BitGet just listed Iagon today in the last 24 hours. Yeah, you see here they had to front run it. So we got a nice little pump, everybody. It's beating it on tap tools as well. Last I checked. We just want to double check here. Yeah, Iagon is up 2% against Cardano on the 24, up 3% 7-day. We're up 25% on the 30-day. So even if you spent your hard-earned Cardano, you've earned more Cardano right now. And IAG is a DPIN pick cloud services. I always say this, DPIN is 3 categories: cloud, compute, communications. It's the cloud portion. That's DZ deep dive. IAG, your community showed up. So that's my IAG deep dive. I like it. Cardano's thread being forked. Was that a fever dream or FUD? No, I wouldn't worry about that. Midnight is, no, look at it as anything you hear about that is just going to be more like L2s. Like Midnight's going to be more of an L2 situation.
Coming back from a lot of quants in the chat here, guys. Type 1 in chat if you hold quant, if you're bullish on quant. My thoughts on quant are that it's not going to do what a lot of people were obviously engaging with in last market, saying it was going to go to $1,000 or $2,000. But as a SaaS model, Gilbert Verdian, their partnerships, I do believe quant could see that $300 range. But again, like DZ mentioned, that is one of those ones where it's now this higher end mid cap. I don't expect it to perform like relentlessly and see a 10x on that price action. So I'd be moving that over. Another one I really like and I still believe is really undervalued right now is Polygon Matic. We talk about this all the time. Of course, they have their pull upgrade and all their new initiatives. But that's another one that's been a slow mover and has been underestimated by the market at this moment. But I do believe we'll have their time in this bull run. Quant and Aerodrome. And again, to Bob Accounting, he said, Josh, Velodrome. Yes, it was Velodrome Finance, similar to Aerodrome Finance here right now.
I was looking for the date of someone also typed in Benkey, QI. I was looking for the date when we talked about it. It was on an Avalanche crypto video. I don't know if I can find it just yet, but Key is way up. And if we look at that one, it's up 11% today. This is the 3-month chart. I don't recall exactly when we jumped in. It was right before the Avalanche pump. We're up at least 2x on that one. But if you hit max, this is one of those ones. I think there's still some potential upside because we still haven't hit previous all-time high market caps. And I see, a lot more tokens are out right now, but I think there's still some room. It was around $250 million market cap before. I think it can hit potentially $1 billion this bull run. And if we look, market cap is that's a 7x. Okay, I think you could do a 7x. I think you hit 20, 25 cents. Anything else? I think that's it.
I wanted to cover the Polygon Matic thing right here because they did have that network outage. So for anybody watching, that is where the price action saw the downside. So there could be an opportunity here. Vitalik obviously operated the first transaction on March 20. This doesn't make sense. Launched on March 27th, 2023 with the symbolic first transaction by Vitalik. Isn't it not the 25th? That's wrong. That's definitely wrong right there. So I'm going to get the real number or the real date for you there coming up here. Let's take like 1 or 2 more questions from chat here. Quant has awesome tokenomics, but disappointed. Yeah, again, pumponomics. What are your thoughts on Aave?
Aave already has a high market cap. It's favored by the whales. I mean, I don't see too much opportunity in Aave. To me, it's one of those quote unquote safer plays in crypto. Kind of like, all right, you want to get into a meme coin? There's a quote unquote safe play. It's Doge. Mm-hmm. It will probably pump and, you'll get some multiples, but there's going to be hotter performing coins with lower market caps. I would put Aave in the same category. Like if you want to have some DeFi exposure, but you don't want to lose 80% of its value if Bitcoin goes down to 50K, Aave would be a pretty good, coin for that. Way higher during the bull run.
A little bit.
But you didn't see that second high in November, so that's a little bit alarming. I don't like seeing that. Market cap looks fine, though. I like coins that had a second high in November, so to me, a little bit of a not great metric right there. Thoughts on, how do you say that one?
It's
AOs?
AI, well, people say AOs. I just say AIOZ. Like it's kind of always been.
AIOZ,
Yeah,
AOs.
they were actually really smart. So AOs, or however you guys want to say it, they rebranded their website. And DZ, I think you're going to look at this website and go, yeah, that was a smart marketing move. Check out their website here. Look at what they rebranded as. Deepen for Web3.
Smart.
This is what entrepreneurs need to be doing and innovating in the space. And it's what a lot of projects lack, which is, you got to keep up with the trends. You got to keep up with what the audience wants to hear. And even though AOS is a decentralized streaming platform, which is what they obviously push themselves as primarily in the beginning, as soon as Deepin started taking off, I don't know how long ago they did it, but they made themselves the ultimate Deepin website here. And that was a genius strategic move from AIOZ's price action. So this is a project I should have taken the pre-sale, honestly, way back when. But ultimately, I don't know what the upside is going to be. I think it's at all-time highs, if I'm not mistaken. No, not since. Let's go to market cap. Yeah, there you go. Always click that market cap. I love that feature here. But at all-time highs in comparison to its price action overall, $1 billion market cap now. So what's that upside look like? I don't know if that's a 3-4 billion. As Kelly mentioned earlier with Render, I'm moving out of AI and Deepin. I am moving to new emerging sectors. For example, of course, the Bitcoin layer 2s, which we have a small article on with Justin Sun, with his Bitcoin layer 2 roadmap and plan, of course, with the Runes protocol, Nakamoto upgrade from Stacks, and all of that developing over the coming months. I think the trend and narrative is going to shift. I think AI and Deepin have been sexy, but there's going to be another sexy play coming up because a lot of the top AI projects, they're only going to be doing, Render can go up another 200, 300, 400%. There's going to be other industries and sectors that start seeing these 10Xs, and that's just what attracts retail. And I want to follow that money.
Yeah, and I think L2s could be pretty big as these ETH gas fees go up. Like I said, a $500 gas fee, $1,000 gas fee is not out of the realm of possibility. And then if that does happen, L2s are going to flourish, or the whole EVM ecosystem's dead. And I
look
don't
at
see that
DZ's
happening,
call
but
right here with Aerodrome. We're talking 10, 20x, like from the bottom here at 8 cents, more than that. So this is the next narrative. I think it's going to be DeFi. I think it's going to be the development of these, new lending and borrowing protocols on Bitcoin's ecosystem. And it's going to be a good time.
Bought Arrow, and because of you, and it was up $60,000. Love seeing it. Go ahead and hit that like button.
That's a good way.
That's all we're going to end with. Hey guys, let's just all keep getting these wins together. Best way, hit that like button. I'm going to go try to get some more wins.
W.